Bienvenidos a este nuevo capítulo. Como verán, pues aquí seguimos con las prostitutas. Solamente que también este tío, pues no sabemos qué onda. Ah, es un prostituto
Hi.
también.
Well,
Es un
here's
gigolo.
someone new. What can I do for you?
I wanted to know who this earring belongs to.
Oh, this really isn't my day. Show me, pretty face. Given the way it shines, it must be a piece of junk. It probably belongs to one of the girls. Well, if that's all that you're here for, I'd rather...
Ok, eso fue raro, pero pues bueno, no
There are too many
discriminados.
of you for me alone, my little lambs.
Sorry, madam, but we're here to ask other favors of you.
Why? It's mine. I lost it when...
Are you sure you want to broach that subject here?
You're right. Come with me. Well, what do you want? Why are you giving me back my earring?
You know where we found it, don't you?
Obviously. I realized as soon as I got back that I'd lost it.
I imagine your pimp does not know that you take part in these parties. He doesn't dabble in this at all?
No, do not say anything to him, I beg you. He's on my case enough as it is.
Then I suggest you answer my questions.
What would you like to know?
Could you tell us who you saw at the parties?
Rich people, or better. They seemed very rich and important to me. But I don't know them.
Do you know who organizes these parties?
Not really, no. A steward pays me when I go, but I don't see anyone else, apart from the clients.
You can't even give me a single name.
No. The only person who sometimes speaks to this steward is a woman who is always wearing a green coat. She never takes part in the festivities, but the steward rushes over whenever she arrives.
Do you think that an important person from Teleme could have partaken in these soirees?
You're thinking of Mother Cardinal, aren't you? You lot really think we are a bunch of degenerates.
You're hardly a shining example of virtue, my child. Just answer our questions.
Sorry, Father, I don't know the Mother Cardinal, but I strongly doubt she dabbles in that.
You don't think you could recognize her, and you don't think you've crossed paths. What a testimony. Admit it, you must know more than you're letting on. It's virtually impossible not to recognize someone while being so close to these influential people, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I was able to recognize someone, once. Even with a mask on, I'm good at recognizing my clients.
Please continue. I'm all ears.
I don't want to implicate anyone, but he is of no real importance, and you've probably never even heard of him. It's the local moneylender.
I know very well who you're referring to, my dear.
But I didn't mention anything to you, huh? This stays between us.
I don't even remember the subject of this conversation anymore. Do you know someone who goes by the name of Candy Cane?
Everyone does. He is a powerful person, so his name makes the rounds.
Have you ever spotted him at these pleasure parties?
In all honesty, I wouldn't even be able to recognize him. I've heard his name before, but that's all.
This woman in the green coat, could you tell me about her?
She always hides her face and never joins us. Then she disappears into a little office and locks the door.
I see. She is quite important then. Thank you for your help.
Be sure not to mention this to anyone. I'd lose my clients if they suspected me of speaking about them, you know.
Bueno, pues hemos terminado con nuestra investigación. Como verán, pues... ¿Qué dice acá? Ah, es vasco. Pues ya sabemos más sobre el prestamista y sobre todo también ahí por sus amigos adinerados que les gusta la rumba. Y bueno, tampoco los juzgamos, como dije, pues somos muy abiertos y pues estamos dispuestos a ayudar y apoyar a la comunidad. A ver, vamos a ver. Ahora sí, a dónde me tengo que mover. Según esto, debo estar acá adentro. No lo entiendo. Que supone que ya hice esto. Dice... Ah, ok. Interroga al corredor de apuesta de San Mateus. Y pues vamos a preguntarle otra vez a este tío. A ver qué nos dice.
Look who it is.
I'm looking
Ah,
for
lo
a
del
woman
ruido.
who comes here. She always wears a long green coat.
Yes, I have seen this coat before, but I have no idea who is beneath it. If that's what all I know is that I've seen her speaking to a regular, a steward of the palace who comes to place big orders. Always.
I have to go. I will leave you.
Pues ahora vamos con el corredor de apuestas. Supongo que para preguntarle sobre la misma mujer. Del abrigo verde. ¿Qué onda?
Good day.
Es un fantasma.
Welcome.
I'm looking for someone.
Yeah, I know who you mean. She comes in, especially for the big fights, and she has prime...
Do you know where I can find her?
No, I don't even know her name.
She wouldn't happen to be coming back to collect some winnings, would she?
No, and I can't really tell you when she'll...
I must be going.
Next.
Pues como que no obtuve mucha información de este tío. Pero vamos a ver. Me dijeron ahí algo de que habla con otro tío. Creo que es en escala, algo así decía. Pero por el momento tengo que volver con el prestamista. ¿Qué pasó, señora? ¿Por qué me anda alzando la mano? Álceme otra cosa mejor, señora. Como la voluntad de querer ir a misa, ¿no? No se la crean. Ya casi llegamos con el prestamista. Es aquí a la vuelta, todo derechito ahí en la puerta. Ah, otra vez estos cabrones, no manches. ¡Oh, hijo de la gran! Llegó estos tíos que no sé qué mierda, que no me cubren. ¡Uy, me mataron! Hijo de puta, en serio. ¿Sí vieron? Me dio un disparo y literalmente destruyó mi armadura y casi me quitó toda la vida. Les digo que es lo que luego no me gusta. Aunque yo mejore acá mi equipamiento, de alguna manera siempre alguien termina destrozándola. Y pues al final de cuentas ya vieron que ir mejorando la armadura pues prácticamente cuesta un montón. Muchas veces ni siquiera nos alcanza. Y para que dure un par de... pues no sé si de minutos, pero sí decenas. Y aparte me regresó. ¡Ay, qué caray! ¡Ah, no puede ser! ¿Otra vez? Hijo de puta, en serio. Le voy a meter una bala ahí por el ano. Tengo que volver a hacer lo mismo. Porque... pues el desgraciado, ya vieron lo que pasó.
Good day.
Well,
I'm
La verdad
looking-
es que creo que eso ya lo había dicho en otros títulos, en otros videos obviamente, que me aburre mucho estar repitiendo lo mismo. Es lo que luego no me gusta acá de algunos juegos. Digo, pues al final de cuentas pues es parte del juego, pero pues hay algunos que una y otra vez y tienes que estar repitiendo ahí lo mismo. La verdad es que sí es aburrido. Digo, ahorita pues al final de cuentas a lo mejor no es tanto el trayecto, ¿no? Pero hay otros títulos donde realmente sí se hace más prolongado y sí es muy tedioso. Voy a aprovechar para comprar munición, que se supone que ahorita podría comprar más. No puedo, salud, hijo de...
goodbye. May the enlightened all...
A ver, ¿cuánto tengo de munición? 82 balitas.
Bit of poison on my brain. Let's go! May the shadow engulf our enemies.
No, pues, un montón. Y es que si me voy hacia allá, le van a subir la vida. Por ejemplo, a mí ya me están subiendo la vida. Ay, no mames. Es que luego me equivoco porque L2 usualmente es como para apuntar, solamente que aquí es para usar el poder. Ya, muérete, cabrón.
Stop! You're gonna kill them! I'll tell you everything. But after that, leave me
Ok,
be.
Why
era
is the
parte.
Cardinal borrowing money from you, and how does she pay you back so quickly?
I have no idea. And to be honest, I don't care. And all I can do is assure you that she's not helping herself to the city funds, if that's what you're thinking.
How could you possibly know that?
Because San Mateus is rich, but not that rich. With a cardinal, we're talking about astronomical.
And what's Candy Cane's role in all of this?
I don't know. I really have no dealings with him. We have never met. He and the cardinal have a connection, but I just lend money. I have nothing to do. My advice to you is don't get involved. Those two are dangerous.
I would advise you to keep all of this to yourself.
I don't want any trouble. I will be as silent as a stone.
So, how do you see things, my child?
I think that the usurer is lending money to the Cardinal, and very significant sums at that. With this money, she bets on the arena fights while hiding in a big green coat. And she also gives large amounts to a certain Candy Cane, known for fixing fights.
Not only does our dear Cornelia love betting games, but she also wouldn't think twice about cheating to win.
Maybe he's just giving her advice. How can we prove anything?
We can always try asking him. Who knows? Perhaps he will give us an answer.
Les digo que nada más me traen de un lado a otro. Prácticamente tengo que volver a donde estaba.
Candy Cane is not here. At least not yet. Remember, my child, the bookmaker told us that he hangs around here at night.
Ay,
That's
no
true.
ma.
You're right.
O sea, eso me lo hubieras dicho antes de llegar aquí, hijo de puta. Es que la neta sí es un viaje. Eso tiene algo. Aprovechando el viajecito, a ver qué podemos ir agarrando. Porque aparte creo... Ah, no, sí se puede pasar. Yo pensé que aquí ya estaba cerrado, pero no, sí se puede pasar. Ok, ya es de noche. Pues volvamos al punto. llegué por acá. Oh shit, muévanse. Malditos.
May the enlightened bless you.
Ah, ya veo, va a haber pelea. Porque nunca es fácil, porque lo sería.
Good evening. Are you the one they...
Who are you? A legate, no less. I imagine in these cases, the one accompanying you is the famous Petra.
You seem to be very well informed. Therefore, what do you know about a woman in a green coat?
Why would I tell you?
We know that you have business with this woman, and that she is actually...
How did you... You would be better off forgetting that.
That's not exactly the response I'd imagined. But nevertheless, seems rather eloquent.
I told you to forget about it, or you'll soon run into trouble. Legate or no legate.
Come on, it was just an innocent little conversation. Goodbye, Mr. Kane.
Bye. And Godspeed.
We have enough information.
Really? Is the fact that she bets on fights that are potentially fixed enough for you?
It's already a huge scandal. Let me just think about it for a little while. I will find a way of putting this information to good use.
I have faith in you, Father.
Petrus, yo pensé que íbamos a pelear. Ya hasta me había preparado. Pero bueno, ya que están amañadas allí estas peleas, ¿por qué no apostar también? A final de cuentas, todos ganamos, ¿no? Y la madre caverna,
My dear
Cardena,
child,
también.
what can I do for you?
What was your role at my uncle's court? Were you already an ambassador?
No. But I was part of the... Taleme was hoping to convert the I tried to teach you some of the basics because you had a predisposition for magic. But you...
I'll see you later, Father.
Take care.
Ok, ¿y ahora qué hay que hacer? Literal no dice qué hay que hacer. Y pues ya no aparecen más misiones. Dice acá, informa al almirante Cabral sobre tu situación. Supongo que hay que darle literalmente un tiempo para que, pues no sé, nos diga algo. Porque ahorita se puso muy callado este tío del Petrus. A ver, vamos a volver acá para continuar con nuestra misión. A ver si también ahorita nos dice algo el Petrus o pues hay que dejar pasar más tiempo. Ok, este tío sí nos vende. Vamos a vender esto. Que hasta eso tengo todavía buen almacenaje. 555. Ahorita voy a ver qué armas tenemos. Sí, ya no me acordaba que tenía esto. A ver, vamos a ver con nuestro equipo. Primero que nada me voy a cambiar esto. Vale, se lo vamos a cambiar porque está muy mierdero lo que él lleva. 70 contra 96, obviamente, pues no hay que cambiárselo. Ahora acá esto, 35, 44, pero que pierde 15. A ver cómo está el otro tío. Tiene el T52 con 44, pues no, se lo podemos cambiar, ¿eh? Pero no puede. Entonces al Petrus, aquí esto está igual y pues no se lo podemos poner. Ok, las botitas, no tengo botas. Collar, tampoco tengo collar. Tampoco tengo acá esto, el casco. El arma, se supone que... ¿Qué onda? $555. No puedo. Pensé que tenía otra arma. A ver, vamos a venderte esto. Por el momento me voy a quedar con esta arma. Dice que agilidad 3, armas blancas de una mano. El anillo, no sé si se lo puedo cambiar al Petrus, y te lo voy a checar. Vamos a venderte esto. No, espere. Es que no sé si voy a usar todavía el gabán, entonces eso me lo quedo. Y ahora sí, vamos a ver si le podemos dar al Petrus un anillo más chido. De 215, sí podemos. Contra el de 171, que es una vasca. A ver qué tenemos acá. Un anillo. 182, vamos a sacarlo. 132. Voy a guardar este anillo nada más por cualquier cosa. Nunca se sabe. Ahí está. Y fuímonos. Y vamos a preguntarle.
Desarde, what can I do for you?
I've
Pues ya
settled the
hicimos
problem in
ello.
San Mateos. Several of your men were imprisoned by the Ordo Luminous. The misguided brothers planned to attack the port. I had them arrested. They should no longer be a threat to you. The Order thought you to be heretics because of your tradition of secrecy.
The secrets. They often cut both ways. Therefore, I'm going to reveal to you another. We discovered this island nearly 2 centuries ago. A few decades later, we sold the discovery to your nation of merchants. Then, our closest allies, we transported some lords, men and merchandise. They began to colonize the island. The lords revealed themselves to possess a tyrannical nature and began to exploit the lands with a deadly passion. Their actions provoked a revolt of the natives, but also the very workers and craftsmen they had brought with them. The magic of the natives of Tir Fredee was awoken. Beasts came out of the woods and destroyed the new cities. Only a handful of lords and armed men were able to make it back to our ships. The losses were enormous. The humiliation, devastating. Your princes paid us well to keep their secret. They continued to make the occasional expedition. You are, in fact, a product of one of them.
What are you saying?
You must have had your doubts. You are the child of a native. You were born on one of our ships.
The child of an islander? But I know who my mother is, and...
I understand how difficult this is to hear. And I wouldn't know why your family has kept this from you all this time. In the end, we decided to sell the secret location of the island to other nations. The congregation, in spite of its fears, could not keep away. And here you are again. I am sorry for the shock I have caused you. You asked me for the truth, and now you have it. Anything else?
I need to be
Okay.
going. Until we meet again, Admiral. I can't believe it. That for all this time, I've been fed lies. Did Constantine know? I must go and see him.
My child, I understand that this revelation is upsetting. I wish I had the right words to comfort you. In any case, you do not have to be ashamed of your ancestry. This island is at the very core of all our fates.
Pues al parecer tenemos acá una unión con los insulares, ¿eh? A ver, es que aquí ya no me acuerdo bien hacia dónde era nuestra... Ah, es hacia acá. Muy bien. No, ya vamos. Primero que nada voy a guardar acá la partida.
Cousin, you couldn't pick a better time. I've been taken with jitters, like a cat on a midday roof.
What are you waiting for with such anticipation?
I took your advice, you see? I've summoned one of these crows! He has been examining me for nearly an hour. I just barely escaped a purge. But I was given the mandatory bleeding. I so hate their little knives.
And so then, our venerable doctor, what is the verdict? The blood is black.
Constantine, is this your blood? Constantine, answer me. Constantine, stay with me, Constantine. There is a chance that he is in error. It might be something else. I'm going to die.
No, Constantine.
I will die, like your mother, and the others on the continent. I'm dying. I don't want to die. I don't. Not so soon. It's so... Cousin, I don't...
Constantine, I'm here. Pull yourself together. Out. Everyone out. It's an order.
Thank you, cousin.
There now. Are you better?
I don't know. You won't leave me, will you?
I'm going to find a cure, I promise you.
Didn't you promise the same thing to your mother? You know I'll be dead before you find one.
Don't say that. I will succeed. I've already some promising trails to explore.
I don't know, cousin. The tidings are so awfully dire. I'm afraid. I'm so afraid. I doubt the reason for your visit was to console me in my tragedy. Tell me, what brings you here?
It can wait. It's nothing that can't be dealt with later.
But please, please, whatever it is, it will take my mind elsewhere.
I was able to get the whole story out of the Admiral in exchange for a service. As our investigation was leading us to imagine, the congregation did once attempt to colonize the island. The Nauts discovered it some 2 centuries ago and brought our people here a few decades later. But the enterprise to colonize the island failed completely. There were a great many bloody battles. Few colonists survived. The princes preferred to hide their defeat and paid the Nauts to keep the secret.
That they hid the fiasco from the world, I get. But that my father said nothing about it to me.
That's not the most shocking part of the story, believe me.
What do you mean?
The congregation continued to make expeditions to the island with the help of the Nauts. According to the Admiral, my mother came from the island and was brought back. I was born on one of their ships.
What? But... that means you are not...
your dear cousin? No. All the lies we've been fed since our tender childhood. The fable told that I'm the spitting image of my dead father lost during an expedition. God, I don't know what to think, Constantine. Why did they do that to me?
I don't know. It's another one of their sly and dark orchestrations. Some vile intrigue. If it is of some comfort, no matter the true story, you will always be my dear cousin. You have always been the only one to care for me. You are my only friend. That's all that matters to me. Keep this discovery between us. No one needs to know. My aunt adopted you after all. Bring in the others. Let us speak of different concerns. That's enough bad news for one day.
El secreto del príncipe. Nuevo trofeo de
What
bronce.
is it? Dismissed, soldiers! Leave us. We have much to say.
What is going on? I don't appreciate this attitude, Kurt. Must I remind you that these men all answer to me?
Times change, Your Highness. Or rather, they're about to do so.
Is that a threat? What are you hoping to accomplish? Don't tell—
Silence! We have little time, and none to lose.
Kurt, what are you talking about?
The commander of the Coin Guard is here in New Serene at this very moment. He's preparing a coup d'etat. In the 3 cities of the island, our men are going to eliminate the governors and their entourage.
This is madness. How?
How? You'll go down as easy as plum pie and cherry wine. Standing behind every one of you is one of our men. You have entrusted us with your security. You are completely at our mercy.
Then why did you send your men away? And why are you telling us all of this?
I've known you both for a very long time. Too long. I've come to know you. To respect you. And I've never reneged on a contract. These orders go against all that I am. A cold-hearted mercenary. Definitely. But never a traitor. And so now you are forewarned. You must take action.
Thank you, Kurt. I will not forget this. Constantine, we need to get you to safety as well as your counselors.
But I want to...
What? Take part? You can barely stand up. No. We must take you into the cellar.
If I've completely understood what you've said, Kurt, the governors of our cities are also in danger.
Yes. If you want to keep your allies, Your Highness, you also need to warn them.
Correct. We cannot let them fall into the hands of these traitors.
I will find the means to send them a messenger. Do you know where to find your conspirators?
It would seem I should be one of them. They are counting on me to eliminate both of you. The most urgent matter is to get our hands on the commander and his 3 lieutenants. The others are doing nothing but following orders. If we cut off the heads, they will fall into rank.
I always knew you were a good man.
Don't make me change my mind. We'd better be off. Now.
Oh, vale, vale, vale. Bueno, aquí es donde, ¿cómo decirlo? Pues empieza a dividir un poco la historia. En este caso, digamos que Kurt fue nuestro aliado porque le ayudé a hacer su misión. ¿Cómo decirlo? Es que son 3 misiones. Bueno, digamos, hice estas 3 misiones, entonces por haberle apoyado, pues él, aparte ahorita tengo una relación de amistad, digamos que eso también es bueno, porque pues obviamente tenemos acá este estímulo que nos ayuda a anticipar este golpe de estado. Y esto es muy importante porque si se dan cuenta hay trofeos que justamente, por ejemplo, hay unos que prácticamente tiene que correrse el golpe de estado en todas las ciudades y en otros lo podemos evitar y ahí son respectivos trofeos. Entonces creo que inconscientemente hice bien en guardar la partida porque si no llegar a este punto pues aquí es donde realmente se toman las elecciones, ¿no? Salvarlos, no salvarlos y qué trofeos pues voy a obtener. Entonces esa partida ya no la voy a tocar, la voy a dejar ahí para que posteriormente pues también le saque mayor provecho en cuanto a los trofeos. A ver, ¿qué más podemos hacer? Por el momento nada, tal vez llevarnos a Petrus.
We'll certainly have to fight some traitors at Torsten's behest on our way to the cellar. Stay on your guard.
Stay behind us, Constantine. You're in no condition to fight.
We must also think about the advisors, including your professor. And then we have to rescue Lady Mirage.
We must hurry before the guard can act.
Ay, se va a poner muy cabronazo el asunto. Traidores de mierda. Hijos de mierda, de mierda, de mierda. También, por ejemplo, si no hubiéramos hecho sus misiones, pues Kurt estaría pues del otro bando, sería nuestro enemigo y aparte pues él desertaría, o sea, ya no lo tendríamos como parte de nuestro equipo. Hay un trofeo donde pues prácticamente hay que cumplir con todas las misiones, entonces ese trofeo también quedaría inválido. Entonces por ello mismo les digo que sí es muy importante ahí pues tener bien checados los trofeos y cómo vamos avanzando en la historia, porque pues, de ahí se entorna todo.
Lord Minister! The Coin Guard wants to take control of the island by assassinating all its governors.
The Guard is everywhere. They could succeed.
We will do everything in our power to thwart them. Come now, we'll take you somewhere safe.
I'll follow you.
I follow you. Aunque parece chango. Voy a poner algunas trampas. Tal vez digan, ¿y por qué pones trampas? Es que hay un trofeo donde tengo que atacar a... Bueno, más bien tiene que 200 trampas hacerles daño. Entonces también para pues ir avanzando en ello y aparentemente creo que les baja también bastante vida. Entonces es bueno. Según esto, tenemos que ir arriba. ¿A qué parte? Sinceramente, ni idea. Pues voy a subir ya. por acá.
Lord de Cosillon, the Coin Guard tried to assassinate my cousin and is plotting the same actions against the other governors.
So, they have finally done it. Such proximity to power is a terrible temptation. It was only a question of time before they succumbed.
We should have paid more attention to your lessons. We might have been able to avoid all of this. Follow me. I'm taking you somewhere safe.
I'm coming.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Oh, joder. Ya llegaron esos tíos. Ya llegaron esos tíos. Ya llegaron esos tíos.
Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
Dándoles pataditas. Hasta eso sí, las trampas de veneno son muy efectivas, ¿eh?
To my help! And death to the others!
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
Bueno, y las de fuego no se van atrás.
I am wounded!
¿Cómo crees? Ya se me... Ah, no, ahí sí, otro. Ábranse. Ya. Ya. Esos son buenos malos, ¿qué onda? Ahora sí, hay que bajar. ¿Cómo se bajan? ¿Qué onda? ¿Por qué se anda moviendo eso? Pues yo digo que por acá. Vamos a ver dónde me lleva esto. No, aquí es gato encerrado. Ah, es que me equivoqué de puerta. Era del otro lado. Es que... A ver... ¿Esto dónde me lleva? No, aquí era donde ya estaba... Donde rescaté al monito este. Bueno, por lo menos sirve para agarrar cosas. Pero entonces la puerta que ando buscando debe ser la de acá. Sí, sí es esta. Ahora sí, bajamos al sótano. No sé, no, creo que por acá ni se puede abrir esto. Ya ven como todos los castillos son iguales, no sé si recuerden esto. yo creo que voy a tener que comprar más trampas. Aunque sí está funcionando, Aquí estamos.
We've reached the cellar. It looks like a good place to hide. Constantine, promise me that you will stay here until we secure the city.
Do I even have a choice? Here I am, consigned to my quarters like some broken old...
Like someone ill, Constantine. Someone sick who is dear to me, and this...
You have such a way with words. Very well.
Let's go then.
And cousin? Watch out for yourself.
You will be safe here.
Thank you, my friend. I will never forget what you've done for me.
You are safe here.
Pues ahora le tenemos que advertir a los otros dos gobernadores, al del puente y el de Telemi. Alerta a la señora de Moranch. Advierte a los otros gobernadores. No sé por qué me lo marca así, pero pues bueno, vamos primero acá a esta y pues me voy a seguir el pasito ahí, el camino.
Lady Morange, make ready to depart.
But what is going on?
The Coin Guard has decided to take control of the Isle. They were set on assassinating Constantine.
The idiots!
You are in danger. Do you know a safe place where we could take you?
Don't worry about me. I have friends here. They will hide me. Go! And do be careful.
Maybe enlightened protect me in this battle. To my help! And death to the others! Move away! Things are about to get dicey! I am wounded!
Make preparations to leave. I have a message to communicate immediately to the governor of San Mateus. You must tell the Mother Cardinal that the Coin Guard is preparing a coup d'etat. Her life and those of her entourage.
Very well, Your Excellency. I'll leave him.
Partiré de inmediato. Partiré de inmediato. Ah, mierda. Es que es lo que neta sí odio. De que en ciertas partes te mueves y ya. Pues ya lo vieron ustedes. Esto debería ser más abierto. Eso sí es lo único que sí no me está gustando del juego.
You must hurry.
Pues bueno, me voy a apurar, los voy a pasar. Igual y les dejo un regalito. Pero me voy. Ah, joder. Ah, yo pensé que... Bueno, sí, de todos modos los tengo que matar. Creo. Uy, mierda, es que sí son un chingo, no sé, de repente salieron ahí más.
You must hurry.
No me chingues, hijo de puta. Joder.
Messenger, be ready. You must. What are you? And so you are prepared to betray your prince and country for a few coins? Don't you understand that the reason I am standing before you is because the guard failed to take this city? Do you know the punishment reserved for traitors?
Very well, Excellency. I'll leave immediately. The commander must be in his upstairs quarters preparing the attack. We should try to reach him discreetly.
We could try to get through the palace.
That's one way
hijos
to
de
do it.
puta.
Or we could use the scaffolding to access the upper floor down there. But it's visible from the dormitories. I know that the young recruits were all...
They will not suspect us if we're wearing guard uniforms. Do you know where the three lieutenants who told us about the location?
Ludger is an instructor. He'll be in the right wing of
Your armor is falling apart. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
Ahí estás, maldito. Sí, son varios, ¿eh? Lo bueno es que también vengo bien armado, entonces pues se las estoy poniendo difícil.
I'm sorry, Your Excellency. I know you've paid your entry fee, but this is a special night. My orders are not to let anyone in.
What if I paid you a supplement for your good services?
Very well, you can come in. I hope I won't be in trouble.
Maldito cabrón.
I regret, my lord, we are closed this evening. Come back another day.
I'm not here to tempt my luck. Are you in charge?
That's right, what do you want from me?
From you? Nothing. We are here to arrest the commander's lieutenants.
Is that right? Now this ought to be good. And for what crime would that be?
You know very well. For high treason.
Oh, and you think that my men are just gonna let you, without so much as blinking an eye?
Why would your men risk their lives and their families' well-being to serve your greedy ambitions? Gentlemen, you have been manipulated. I imagine you were promised riches and high station on the island. Told that with such a prize you would be free of the services of the merchants, the mages and the scholars. But do you imagine for an instant that the Nauts would risk losing their precious clients for you? That the continental nations that you've betrayed would accept that you might return to their lands? You would be condemned to remain on this island, isolated and forever banished from the continent. I only hope that you are leaving no one behind you, because you will never see them again.
You make sense. We have too much to lose in this story. I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but you're gonna have to deal with this yourself. Do with him what you feel you must.
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle! To my help! And death to the others! Move away!
Cabrón. A ver, qué show, qué show. Los tenientes de la moneda. Ah, creo que puedo pasar por acá.